The benefits of combining the keto diet with intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet are two of the most popular dietary approaches to achieving health and wellness. Therefore, it is natural for people to question whether intermittent fasting and keto can or should be practiced together. The brief answer is yes. Both intermittent fasting, IF, and keto are derived from ancient eating patterns. From an evolutionary, ancestral standpoint, our bodies have evolved to thrive on a fast and feast cycle. Recent studies of ancient human eating patterns have revealed that these feasts centered on fatty animal meats. We will examine the question of combining intermittent fasting and keto, focusing on the scientifically supported benefits. If you are finding value in this content, please like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on our future videos. Keto and intermittent fasting in human evolution. Our ancestors lived for nearly 2 million years in a world teeming with large prey, megafauna. When a hunt was fruitful, our ancestors feasted, and when it was unsuccessful, they fasted. Throughout eons of human evolution, our ancestors whose brains and bodies functioned best in fasted states were also the best at hunting and gathering food, and thus at surviving and reproducing. This indicates that the genes that influence their metabolism have been transmitted to us. We see evidence of our body's adaptation to cycles of fasting and feasting in the way we easily store fat, our energy source between successful hunts. Easily enter ketosis, the metabolic process by which we convert stored fat and the fat we eat into fuel during periods when carbohydrates and calories are scarce. Have diminished cognitive ability, i.e., we're dumber, when not fasting because our brains are hardwired to function optimally during food scarcity. What is intermittent fasting? Intermittent fasting is a modern method of recreating our ancestral eating patterns. This involves cycling between daily periods of fasting and eating windows. When done correctly, IF has been demonstrated to regulate blood glucose, regulate lipids in the blood, including cholesterol and triglycerides, decrease the risk of coronary heart disease, manage body weight, assist you in gaining, or preserving, lean muscle mass, stimulate growth hormone production, stimulate stem cell generation, decrease cancer risk, and more. Here is an illustration of a common 16-8 fasting method. 16-8 intermittent fasting is a time-restricted form of fasting. It consists of eating during a daily 8-hour window and abstaining from food for the remaining 16 hours. Some individuals believe that this method is effective because it supports the circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock. What is the keto diet? A ketogenic, keto, diet consists of consuming a high-fat, moderate protein, and minimal carbohydrate diet. By restricting carbohydrates and consuming the majority of calories from fat, our bodies switch from using carbohydrates as fuel to converting the fat we eat and the fat we store into molecules called ketones that fuel our cells. When blood ketones levels rise, we enter the metabolic state known as ketosis, which is the origin of the term keto diet. The typical calorie breakdown of a ketogenic diet is as follows: 70 to 80% of calories from fat, 15 to 30% of calorie intake from protein, 0 to 10% of caloric intake from carbohydrates. The majority of ketones contain more energy per unit than carbohydrates. Additionally, they can fuel the vast majority of your cells. For the small number of other cell types that require glucose, your body will synthesize it from protein. The term for this natural process is gluconeogenesis. Benefits of keto diet. Researchers have paid a great deal of attention to keto due to its rising popularity. Despite the fact that the science is still developing, clinical studies have already revealed that keto has numerous benefits, including improved blood lipid levels, enhancement of insulin sensitivity, less severe cases of type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease, reduces and reverses symptoms of PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, treatment for numerous types of cancer, reduces and slows the progression of neurodegenerative diseases such as epilepsy, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, substantial weight loss, make meals more filling, thereby decreasing cravings for processed and high carbohydrate foods, regulates inflammation and boosts immune function, aids in the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins, K, D, E, etc. Protects the glycocalyx, the membrane that covers the surface of every cell and is responsible for overall health but is easily damaged by sugar consumption. Combining intermittent fasting and keto has massive benefits. As demonstrated in the preceding section, intermittent fasting and keto share a number of benefits, including enhanced fat burning, enhanced cellular repair, enhanced insulin sensitivity, and reduced disease risk. Now, let's examine how the combination of IF and keto may increase these benefits and provide others. May facilitate the transition into ketosis. The keto diet involves shifting your body's energy source from carbohydrates to ketones. Typically, this is accomplished by decreasing carbohydrate consumption and increasing fat intake. This transition can be lengthy and is accompanied by a number of unpleasant side effects known as keto flu. IF accelerates ketosis and facilitates the transition. When you fast, your insulin levels fall, which causes your body to use its stored carbohydrates, glycogen. Once these are depleted, the body begins to use fat as a fuel source. Consider fasting as a means of stimulating ketosis. Might accelerate weight loss. Both intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet have been shown in clinical studies to promote weight loss. When combined skillfully, the weight loss factors of each are enhanced. IF stimulates thermogenesis, while keto instructs the body to metabolize fat stores. Source of sustained energy between meals. The digestion of fat is considerably slower than that of carbohydrates, and ketones contain more energy per unit than glucose. When you're on a well-formulated high-fat keto diet, your blood sugar rarely drops low enough to cause hunger pangs or spikes high enough to cause you to lose focus. Ketones are also effective at suppressing ghrelin, the hunger-inducing hormone. Both intermittent fasting and the ketogenic diet have been demonstrated to reduce appetite. And because ketogenic meals are more satiating, food cravings are reduced. In turn, this supports an intermittent fasting regimen that requires extended periods without eating. Decrease hypoglycemic stress. Longer periods of intermittent fasting can result in consistently depleted blood sugar levels, particularly when the body is not keto adapted. These periods can trigger the release of stress hormones such as GnRH, glucagon, human growth hormone, epinephrine, and cortisol. These stress hormones can interfere with female reproduction. GnRH in particular regulates the release of the reproductive hormones luteinizing hormone, LH, and follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH. The disruption of these hormones can lead to irregular periods, amenorrhea, infertility, diminished ovarian size, and decreased bone density. Combining intermittent fasting and keto can reduce hypoglycemic stress and related hormone imbalances, which is good news. When the body is keto adapted, it is no longer dependent on carbohydrates, and blood sugar levels are significantly more stable. Keto can provide energy for and shield fasting-stimulated stem cells. According to studies, intermittent fasting can increase stem cell production in the intestines, muscles, and brain. At the same time, IF maintains stem cells' ability to regenerate independently over time. However, concluding a fast with sugary processed foods can result in precancerous lesions and increased cancerous activity, particularly in the intestines and liver. Combining intermittent fasting with a high-fat, low-carb ketogenic diet nourishes new cells with energy-rich ketones while protecting them from the damage caused by carbohydrates and insulin. Enhanced cellular regeneration. Intermittent fasting can induce autophagy, a cellular spring cleaning process. Keeping tissues healthy, old cells are metabolized and new cells are born. When you combine intermittent fasting with a low-carb ketogenic diet, you accelerate the removal of cells damaged by the glycation process caused by the bonding of sugar molecules. Enhanced cancer-fighting factors. According to studies on mice, fasting can significantly reduce the incidence of lymphomas and tumors. The reduction in glucose and insulin is an anti-cancer factor. A keto diet virtually eliminates sugar. When you don't consume sugar, your body ceases to produce insulin. Together, intermittent fasting and keto starve cancer cells dependent on glucose. Intermittent fasting and keto. The takeaway. Intermittent fasting and keto are two sides of the same coin when it comes to diets inspired by ancestral eating patterns. Intermittent fasting accelerates the metabolism, whereas the ketogenic diet causes the body to metabolize its excess fat stores. Intermittent fasting promotes cellular spring cleaning and renewal, whereas keto eliminates sugars that can damage cells and nourishes new cells with energy-dense ketones. These complementary forces enhance many of the shared benefits of intermittent fasting and keto, including weight loss, disease risk reduction, and inflammation reduction. Combining IF and keto can be especially beneficial for women because it protects against hormone imbalances that can be triggered by hypoglycemic stress. Always, these advantages are contingent on a well-formulated approach that emphasizes healthy whole foods. We suggest basing your intermittent fasting and keto diet on whole animal-based foods, keto-specific superfoods, and organ meats. Thanks for watching. Please check out our other videos for more health tips.